Let's go on to our Medina Arabic book. We will be doing lesson 5 today, inshallah. But before we start that, let's look at what we have learned up till now. In lesson 1, we were taught how to ask what in Arabic by using the word ma, how to ask who by using the word man, how to ask a question that will yield a yes or no answer. We do that by using harf of istifham, hamza. We also learned the concept of short and long vowels. Short vowels are fatha, dhamma, and kasra. And long vowels have the letter alif, waw, or ya after the corresponding haraka to make the double the haraka sound. We learned the concept of tanween. Tanween means two harakat, two fatha, two dhamma, or two kasra. And we learned that most of the time, if a word has tanween, it is an indefinite word. Not always, but most of the times. We learned the concept of a simple nominal sentence which has a mubtada, the subject, and a khabar, the predicate. We learned that the mubtada is the first ism, it is ma'rifa, it has al, and it ends in a dhamma. The khabar we learned is the second noun, it is nakira, it has tanween, dhamma. Then also we learned the pointing nouns. We learned hada, which means this. In lesson 2, we learned the pointing noun dhalika, which means that. So if I want to point to something that is near, I will say hada. If I want to point to something that is far and is masculine, I will use dhalika. We also learned the conjunction word harf atf, wow, which means and. In lesson 3, we were introduced to definite and indefinite. For instance, baitun is an indefinite word, nakira, and al-baitu is a definite word, ma'rifa. We learned that if a word has al, it cannot have tanween. Again, we were taught about simple nominal sentences in a bit more detail, the subject and predicate. Al-masjidu qareebun. Al-masjid is the subject, qareeb is the predicate. We learned sun and moon letters in lesson 3. Sun letter and moon letter, the difference is seen when there is lam at-ta'rif before them. In case of a sun letter, the lam of the lam at-ta'rif is not pronounced, rather it is assimilated into the sun letter. So for example, at-tajiru, and you see a shadda on the sun letter. In case of a moon letter, the lam of the lam at-ta'rif, al, is pronounced. So you say al-babu. Lesson 4, we were taught a number of things. We were introduced to preposition called harfu jarrin. Harfu jarrin. This has an action, harf jar. It forces the noun after it, the ism after it, to take a kasra. We were introduced to 4 of these prepositions. Fi, which means in. Ala, which means on. Min, from, and ila, to. So 4 huruf of jar were introduced to us. We were also taught how to ask where by using the word aina. In addition, in lesson 4, we were introduced to pronouns. Just as in English, a pronoun is used after a noun has already been introduced to prevent repetition. So we were taught 2 pronouns in lesson 4, huwa and hiya, and ana and anta. So not 2, actually we were taught 4 pronouns. Huwa, which means he, hiya, which means she, ana, which means I, and anta, which means you when you're talking to a boy. These are called dhamair munfasila, or singular damir munfasil, detached pronoun. It is not attached to any word. Then we learned in this lesson also the second type of predicate. The first type of predicate is just a khabar word, like a one-word khabar. In the second type of predicate, second type of khabar, you see a construction of a harf of jar and an ism majroor. Together they make the khabar. And this type of khabar is called shibhu jumla. Shibhu jumla is jar wa majroor, harf jar and ism majroor together make the predicate, and it's called shibhu jumla. Lastly, in lesson 4, we learned that female names that do not have a male counterpart do not take tanween. So for example, the name Maryam is going to be Maryamu, or Aishatu, Zainabu. It will not be with a tanween.